welcome to the World Reimagined Leeds. This evening, I'm joined by...
Jael Sanders.
And Jael.
And together they're the ladies of Midnight Blue.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce your work, what you do?
So I originally I was trained as a printmaker. I'm now a musician, so I'm a percussionist and beer player, and I also am a technician at Newcastle University.
I'm Jael, and I'm a musician, an activist, an educator, and I like to consider myself an ambassador of fun. Also the artistic director of Festival Harambe Pasadena.
Is that a protected title?
No, I want there to be more ambassadors of fun out there.
Okay.
We should all become ambassadors.
I'm just one of many.
So, you guys aren't based in Leeds.
No.
So what brings you to Leeds? Why are you here today? Why are you here this week in Leeds?
Well, we're originally from New Jersey, but we've been living in Newcastle and work across the Northeast. Actually work all over the UK. But at the moment, the ladies of Midnight Blue, us too, are on residency with Opera North for the resonance residency. And so we're working on our set. The last year we've been working on incorporating electronics into our music with Ableton and do some composing in Logic. And just trying to fuse that with what we do, which is normally lots of hand percussion.
Drumming,
yeah, lots of djembe, congas, trombone, and now we're trying to just add that in. And that's definitely like since COVID. It was just like when everything stopped, we were just like, okay, what do we do? How do we upgrade, enhance ourselves, and add another dynamic to ourselves?
Yep.
Great. So how are you getting on with that? Are you enjoying integrating the electronics?
It's been a roller coaster. It's really good, actually. We've gotten a bit of funding from Jazz Northeast and a bit of funding from...
You got funding from Jazz Northeast?
From the Arts Council, from DYCP to get...
Help musicians.
And help musicians as well. And we got a bit of equipment, which was really useful. And we're getting lessons in Ableton and all kind of fun things. But it's been really interesting. You've been doing a lot of composing on it, which is really nice.
I've been hiring lots of really cool people to help me on this journey of like trying to code. But I think
the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing right now why we're really excited is because we wear so many different hats, and we're normally doing lots of things, running our other band, Jael and Midnight Blue, working at Newcastle University, organizing various projects, organizing a festival. We do a lot of producing, and we often don't have time to spend as a duet practicing and making new music. But the duet funds everything, every aspect of our life. But the duet very rarely has time to turn off everything else and spend time. So this time period at Howard Assembly Room as part of Opera North has been really a blessing for us to work.
And we've performed with each other for such a long time now that we literally can get up and go do a performance without having like a set rehearsal for it.
Yeah.
So this is really nice to be able to like create new music and to practice together and to have the time and the space to do it. So
how long is that you've been playing together?
We were trying to figure this out.
Well, we've been in England for
12 years.
12 years.
And we think we started drumming 2 years before that. So that would be 14 years now.
Yeah.
We think. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
But we actually come to Leeds quite often. Well, more often in London. And we started to come to Leeds because of a project called Slate. Well, we were always intrigued because, being from America, there's lots of folks that look like us in New Jersey. And in Newcastle, it's not as diverse as other parts of this country, and definitely not as diverse as New Jersey or New York, Philadelphia, where we're coming from. So it's important to, it was important for us to like find other folks around, other artists to be inspired by and to work with and collaborate with. And so we find ourselves coming to Leeds to do that with these cool artists.
Was the first project we came for the Carnival project, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
A long time ago.
oh yeah,
That was before Slate.
and that was way before Slate. But that was for a project called Leeds Dynamics, and they work with various I think it's refugee asylum seekers
And young people.
young people. I think they're mostly creatives, they're artists, and they do various projects, and they hired us to help them prepare for Leeds Carnival. So we went in a series of workshops and taught some drumming, and
did a
then
residency.
you helped to design their
Carnival
carnival costumes.
Yeah.
It was all kind of like cool, makeshift, just, you know.
It was really good. And then we performed on the
float.
The float.
That was our first time ever in Leeds Carnival.
It was amazing.
And we were drumming. We were the only, we may have been the only float with live drumming, because everything else had these big mega systems. So when we weren't drumming, we were just dancing, you know.
Smoking some steel pans as well.
Yeah. It was epic. It was beautiful.
Really good.
And then there was a hiatus, and then yeah.
So we come quite often. We come a lot to do look up performances and do loads of contact with people to help us with the festival and things like that. So.
A good friend of ours, Martin Hilton, who's originally from Leeds, has a good friend named Jeff. And Jeff, whenever we came to Leeds, he always introduces us to some new artists. So we've met Khadija Ibrahim and has collaborated with her and had, you know, her part of our festival. And we've met Ashley, and there's a bunch of artists that we work with here. Ella, yourself. So yeah, we like it. Joe Williams, we've been on the Black History Tour, which is so inspiring and so insightful. It's really good to see our footprints and to hear about that history, you know. Yeah.
So you were saying that you don't get much time to practice together. What are you busy with? What projects have you got at the moment?
Wow.
Many. Well, Hanavio has been trying to create or to sort of turn the band show into a theater show. That includes dance and text and narrative and music as well. To have it presented at many various different stages, which is more possible with adapting it. So we're doing it in steps. We started doing a bit of the set design for part of it, creating new music for the band, and also working with various people to create text to add to it as well. And then the next step is to have rehearsals with the dancers and to do a bit of fundraising to be able to do a residency with the dancers as well. So right now we've written some music. We're rehearsing music with the band. We started the set design. And actually the Upper North residency is allowing us to start the set design for the bigger part of it as well. So it's been really useful to do it in steps. So that's one project.
Well, because right now I'm artists in residence at the Sage, which is the duet and the band at the Sage Gateshead in Newcastle. So that residence Gateshead. Well,
we always say Newcastle because it's just like the bigger.
Well, it's called they call it Newcastle / Gateshead, and we've lived in Newcastle for forever. We've only moved to Gateshead a year ago, so it's still new. But yes, we're proud residents of Gateshead now. But still, you know, work in both Newcastle and Gateshead.
Bumping up the non-white numbers in the population.
Well, you know, we try. So we're artists in residence at the Sage, and that residency has really been helping us to like work on the music with the full band. So we rehearse on Mondays there, because having a rehearsal space is really it's really important, and so that's helped us to do that. And then, like Gili said, the residency here in Leeds is helping us to build start building the stage
Yeah.
and work on our part of the show, the duet. And then we're gonna go on another residency at Snape's in Britton Piers in like several weeks' time, and that's gonna be like a more in-depth residency, working with the part of the set that has been built and taking the whole band down.
And 2 of the dancers.
And yeah, and 2 dancers as well.
So you got a set, you got a band, you got dancers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's part of a larger thing that will be developed and finished in the near future. But it's still, the band is 8 of us, and
Okay.
it's changed quite a bit since. It's changed always. We always joke that there's been so many members of this band. We started in New Jersey. When I moved to South Africa, I started a version there, moved here,
Yeah.
and like one day I'm just gonna have all of the members from all of the years just like come and do a massive. It'll be over 20 artists on stage, like 5 drums. It'll be crazy,
So now we call it a collective.
Yeah.
It's because we're able to, there's so many members that sort of come in and out that know the music that can perform with us. That is really nice to call it a collective, because there's, it started in America and then it moved to another country and now it's here. So, and we've gone, it changes quite a bit, because when we first started it, we used a lot of students from Newcastle University who sort of left the city. So we keep choosing and introducing new people to new music kind of thing. So
we do different projects. So like last winter during COVID, we did a series of doorstep gigs.
Oh yeah, that was
and
fun.
then so we used like a smaller version of the ensemble.
Yeah.
And we just went to different people's doorsteps and performed, and
With consent, or just like 6
Yeah.
a.m. in the morning?
Definitely
like,
with
Hey!
I'm here today.
Well, we actually did one where we went. Well, it was mostly care homes and what are they called? Care homes. We did a project in Biker, and then where was the other one? Assisted
living. Yeah.
Is it called assisted living?
Yeah, assisted
Yeah,
living,
that's
yeah.
but there's one of our friends, Paco. It was his birthday.
Oh yeah, and then we went.
No, it wasn't his birthday. It was just Christmas.
It was Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just surprised him, but we called his housing complex, the management there, and said, "We need you to leave the gate open." And like,
welcome to the backyard.
We're just like, we're gonna be here between this time. And they're like, okay. So it was like this whole plan, and then like we like creep in under his window. Everyone's setting up their instruments, and then
wow.
like when we were ready to go, everyone's in place. We just like tapped on the window and just started playing like these Christmas tunes. And he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it was great.
It was fantastic.
It was great.
So outside of that, we have we created a Afrofusion arts festival called Harambe Pasadilla. Harambe is Swahili, meaning let's get together, and Pasadilla Spanish for to spend the day. And we didn't set out to start a festival. We just wanted to get our band a gig. And after many double bills and food, and after that, then here we are with this festival.
It's a 4-day camping festival at the moment.
It'll be the 7th edition this June.
Mm-hmm. And do you get a gig?
That's our main gig.
The one gig every year.
The one gig
that always comes.
And what else is happening at the festival?
So
loads of things. So we have a speakers corner, which is sort of the conference within the festival, and it's a space for people to have conversations. We have panel discussions. We have interviews. We have small shows, small sort of presentations of short kind of performances as well. And it's all about. It could be about anything, but it's all about learning. So we've done zero waste. We talked about healthy eating. We had a talk about decolonializing museums. Some various things that we also had. One of the bands came and taught a little bit about Congolese sort of music that sort of mixed with Cuban music and sort of the fusion of
How the
there
rhythms traveled from
from
different
one
countries.
place to another.
Um, but the festival Harame Pasadilla, we have loads of music performances, workshops. We have gong bath, we have yoga,
Yeah.
we have kayaking, we have canoeing, we have high rope and zip line. If you're feeling adventurous, climb the pole and like zip down.
I've
We have
never tried it yet.
crate climbing.
Yeah.
We have
BMX.
biking, so
Yeah.
anybody can give it a go, whatever age.
There's food. There's
Dance
vendors.
workshops, drumming.
And
Drumming
what dates?
workshops.
What dates?
June 23rd to the 26th. Julie's birthday.
2022.
Of
Yeah,
2022.
the first date is on my birthday, which is gonna be exciting.
But she doesn't have a birthday party. I was like, come on.
I think
Yeah,
this counts as a birthday party.
I think the festival is a birthday
It's a
party.
yeah, but you have to.
Yeah, but it has
It's
to
a
be
working birthday party.
but not in the evening. Well, that's why we have site managers, right?
Yeah.
But we did the festival for a few years, and as activists, as artists, we were like, we really want to situate critical thinking alongside of all of this entertainment, and so that's when we created the conference, the Speakers Corner conference. And that was specifically so we can engage in more dialogue around anti-racism, around resilience, around collaboration, around how do we work together around social justice. And so you might have an interesting conversation on immigration or education or music, and you might just go jump in a canoe afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting space where we get excited about the fact that we can create community intimacy and a space where it's not political in a sense where we're telling people what to think. It's just you create you bring the right ingredients together, and dialogue happens and things happen. And as you know, we have like 4 days or 3 days to create a magical moment. What can we do in that time period to help the world be a better place, or help humans connect, collaborate, and work together? So that's really important to us.
Yeah. You said it so well.
I was programmed to say it like that. Click that you're not a robot. I cannot.
So, finally, is there a book or any music which you would recommend people listening should go and check out? Maybe after I've got all these interviews done, I can make a Spotify playlist of people's tunes which they like, or it might be just one that you listen to at the moment.
Okay.
That's a good question. Well, I'm reading at the moment Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, and I've started to read. It's called Women Warriors of the Afro-Latino Diaspora by Marta Moreno Vega. She's an Afro-Puerto Rican who works in New York and in the Northeast in America. So she's really fantastic. But she also works in Puerto Rico, which is great. And then music-wise, I'll let you talk about your book, and then I'll think about music.
Yeah, I'm reading a bunch of books right now. And I have like several leadership books on the go, and I'm just like consuming them, like getting fed, hanging out with rocket booster friends and whatnot, mostly around abundance and like emotional intelligence and just like that stuff you need to just chew on to like reprogram and recondition. And one book, okay, I'll recommend Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols, and I do like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Some of the language is a little bit however, if you just put those particular items you don't want to swallow aside, I think most of the information there is really interesting and helpful. But Lisa Nichols is a fantastic author, and in stuff around like social justice, I would recommend Bell Hooks' book. Feminism is for everybody,
Oh, that's a
and
good
we're
book.
going to do some of our conference reading that book. We want to create like a reading group for that book. So definitely recommend that book.
Yeah.
And in terms of music, still one of my favorite songs is Journey to Satchidananda by Alice Coltrane.
That's a
Nice.
good one.
Alice Coltrane and Pharoah Sanders. Pharoah Sanders is coming to England in like soon
Nice.
time. When?
Soon time.
Soon time.
Don't know.
Depending on when you see this, you may miss it or you might make it.
I guess the first song that came into my head was Cultura Profética, and a few of not their latest album, but maybe 2 years ago, and I can't remember the name of the album. It'll come to me at some point. And then I've been listening to a lot of reggaeton. So I've been listening. We went to Dominican Republic right before lockdown. And my cousin godson started us a playlist, which he keeps adding music to, like just along on Spotify. And he put quite a lot of reggaeton. So Bad Bunny and people like that.
Yeah,
so
we listened to Bad Bunny so
put it on
much.
repeat.
I mean, when we went, everybody's like, "Oh, this is old." We're like, "This is
this is
new.
new for
Like,
me."
this is amazing." Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I was listening to the reggaeton podcast on Spotify by Evie Queen. That's a really good one.
Evie Queen,
which is it's a podcast around how reggaeton started and the roots from Panama and the story behind Jamaican people going to Panama and how the reggae mixed with the music in Panama and how then it moved to the Caribbean and how it become what it is today. It's a really good podcast if you get to listen to that one. That was good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you for coming along and taking time to answer my questions.
Anytime.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome.